The mystery that evolved from identifying the victim to uncovering the killer has kept Coronation Street viewers hooked for months. And tonight's installment finally revealed who was responsible for Theo Silverton's death. Earlier this year, the ITV drama broke new ground by airing a flash-forward episode that hinted at a major fatality yet to come, leaving fans desperate for answers. After extensive speculation, it was eventually confirmed that the body discovered by a traumatized Betsy Swain belonged to Theo. Since then, the investigation into his murder has dominated events on the cobbles. Police officers explored numerous leads, interviewed a long list of suspects and witnesses, and pursued several theories. Despite their efforts, the true culprit managed to remain completely under the radar. At one stage, detectives believed they had solved the case after charging Summer Spellman with the killing. A significant amount of evidence appeared to point directly towards her involvement. Their suspicions intensified when they discovered that Summer had been dishonest about her last encounter with Theo after forensic evidence connected her to his apartment. Matters worsened when George Shuttleworth confirmed that he had seen her leaving the flat that evening, giving police grounds to arrest her. Summer repeatedly insisted that she had nothing to do with Theo's death and told DS Lisa Connor Swain that Tyrone Dobbs could verify her account. However, when Tyrone initially refused to reveal what really happened, Summer was remanded in custody pending trial. Fortunately, Tyrone eventually decided to tell the truth, leading to Summer's release and forcing detectives to restart their investigation from the beginning. While DC Kit Green strongly suspected Gary Windass, Lisa's attention shifted between Todd Grimshaw and Danielle Silverton as potential killers. In the end, neither officer had identified the right person. The individual responsible for Theo's death turned out to be someone much closer to Kit than anyone anticipated. The shocking answer was Sarah Platt. During tonight's tense dinner party episode, emotions ran high as Maria Connor, Samia Longchamban, finally challenged Gary and Sarah about what she believed was a secret romance. However, the pair were concealing something far darker than an affair. A flashback revealed that Sarah received a suspicious message sent from Todd's phone. Concerned, she headed to the flat to investigate, where she encountered Theo on the scaffolding outside the building. As the confrontation unfolded, Theo made cruel remarks about baby Billy, the child Sarah and Todd tragically lost. The situation quickly spiraled out of control when Theo became increasingly threatening and aggressive. In a moment of panic and anger, Sarah grabbed a metal pipe and struck him across the head, causing him to fall from the scaffolding to the ground below. Terrified by what had happened, Sarah immediately contacted Gary for help. He instructed her to clean any evidence from herself and ensure that she was seen elsewhere in order to establish an alibi. Fans may recall that Sarah appeared to have one of the strongest alibis in the entire case, because she was attacked by Jody Ramsey Olivia Francis Brown later that same night. Despite this, her carefully constructed cover story may soon begin to collapse after Gary warned that he could no longer shield her if it meant destroying his own future. Concerned about losing both his marriage and his family, Gary declared that he intended to tell Maria the real reason behind his secretive behavior, leaving Sarah deeply worried. It was also revealed that on the night Theo died, Gary used Theo's phone to send a message to Danielle, seemingly attempting to frame her for the crime and making himself complicit in the cover-up. The big question now is whether Gary will follow through and confess everything. If the truth comes out, Sarah will also have to explain herself to Kit. Will she pretend there was an affair in order to hide her role in Theo's death, or will she finally confess and accept the consequences of her actions? Coronation Street finally unveiled Theo Silverton's killer during Monday's dramatic episode, with a series of flashbacks exposing exactly what happened on the night of his death. Viewers of the ITV soap were given the long-awaited answer to one of the show's biggest mysteries, and many were left stunned by the identity of the person responsible. While some fans had considered the possibility, They never believed the writers would choose such a prominent character as the culprit. The revelation came during a tense dinner party attended by Kit Green, Sarah Platt, Gary Windass, Maria Connor, Summer Spellman, and Todd Grimshaw. What began as an ordinary gathering quickly descended into chaos as secrets, accusations, and shocking truths surfaced. Maria wasted little time confronting Gary and Sarah over what she believed was a hidden romance between them, accusing the pair of carrying on an affair behind her back. Meanwhile, Kit remained convinced that Gary was the man who had killed Theo. As the episode progressed, a sequence of flashbacks finally uncovered the truth. The scenes not only exposed Theo's killer, but also revealed the person who assisted in concealing the crime and the chain of events that ultimately led to his death. The Mirror chose not to disclose the killer's identity before the episode's television broadcast on ITV1 at 8 p.m. However, the outcome had already begun circulating online while the episode itself was made available earlier through ITVX and YouTube. One thing that became immediately clear was the reaction from viewers. Many were shocked by the twist, particularly because the killer turned out to be a major character within the show. Although some fans had predicted the possibility, they were surprised that the writers actually followed through with it. Taking to social media, one viewer reacted, "Oh wow, X is the killer." Another wrote that they never expected the show to make such a significant character responsible for murder. A third fan praised the decision, describing it as a brilliant twist. Another commenter admitted their surprise stemmed from the fact that they never thought Coronation Street would allow one of its central figures to commit such a crime. Meanwhile, other viewers celebrated correctly predicting the outcome, with one fan proudly posting, "I knew it." Some audience members claimed they had solved the mystery weeks ago. One viewer remarked that although they had already guessed the killer's identity, they still felt the episode was extremely strong overall. The revelation comes shortly after actor James Cartwright, who portrayed Theo, discussed the character's departure and dramatic fate in an interview with The Mirror. Cartwright admitted that he believed Theo's story had reached its natural conclusion and felt the character needed to be written out. He explained that when producers informed him of their plans, he welcomed the decision and felt it was the right outcome for the storyline. According to the actor, discussions had taken place about whether Theo's arc should end with legal consequences or death. Ultimately, he felt killing the character off was the stronger option, arguing that Theo's story could not continue indefinitely. Cartwright also suggested that viewers should feel satisfied by the ending. He noted that soap operas often rely on a strong sense of morality, where audiences want to see sympathetic broke it. Coronation Street is broadcast on ITV1 every weekday evening at 8:30 p.m., with episodes also available to stream on ITVX.